Hey, Walt here from StogieReview.com with another video cigar review. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon. My wife is in school, my daughter is out playing, so if we start to hear some noise, it just comes with the territory. I'm trying to squeeze this quick little review into this really condensed time frame that I have. And today we're going to be taking a sort of a short ashes look at the Sencillo Black Label. Now, if you're not familiar with the Sencillo line of cigars, I really wouldn't be surprised. They're not nearly as popular as their cousins, which are also produced for Prometheus. And those two cigars, the two most notable, are the Opus X Lost City as well as the God of Fire series. Now, in addition to those two, we've also got the standard Sencillo line, which has a silverish band, as well as Angelenos, which I believe we talked about months and months, if not years ago. I think Mike and I did a review of those while we were at Cigar Fest one year. But I got some Sencillo Black Label samples months ago, and I'm just finally getting around to smoking the last of those cigars, and I thought I'd sit down and do a quick little review as well. I believe the blend of this is made up of about 5 different countries, tobacco from 5 different countries. I believe that includes the wrapper and binder. I don't think it's just 5 in the filler, but I could be wrong. They're made in the Plasencia factory, and they're available in probably at least 6 different sizes. And to my surprise, I was looking these up right before we did the review, or right before I turned the camera on, and they're available at Cigars International, so I was kind of surprised to see increased distribution. I thought this was one of those lesser-known cigars, not quite picked up by the big catalog companies, but they're available at Cigars International for various pricing, depending on what the size you're getting. A couple of them look back-ordered, so I'm not quite sure what's going on with availability in stock. It's not like these are a limited production or anything like that, so it's probably just coincidental. But we're off to a pretty decent start. It's billed as a medium to full-bodied cigar. It's probably medium at the start. Smoke volume's good, goes to the palate well. It's got a little bit of a creamy texture. It's got a little bit of a peppery bite through the sinus, and it's got maybe a woody flavor across the palate. I'm not really picking up any definitive flavors as of right now. It's still kind of early, and you're getting more nuanced than defined flavor, but we're off to a pretty good start. So, with that said, I'm going to have a little coffee, enjoy a little time with my daughter, and I'll be back. We'll take a look at the first half, then we'll come back for the second half, we'll wrap it up, and I'll let you be on your way. Well, I'm coming up on the halfway point of my Sencillo Black Label, and things are going pretty well so far. It's not the most memorable cigar I've ever smoked. It doesn't have, as Jerry would say, the wow factor. It's good, solid, medium, or not medium, middle of the road cigar, and it doesn't go beyond that, at least not at this point. So at the halfway point, we've got really good construction. I haven't had any issues with the cigar requiring relights or touch-ups or anything like that. The burn line's a little wavy, the ash is a little dark, but it's performing well. The smoke volume is good. The draw's just a touch stiff. The smoke itself is thick. It coats the palate well. It's got a little bit of a creamy texture to it, which is nice. It complements the coffee really well. In terms of flavor, that's where the cigar kind of winds up being middle of the road. Predominantly, it's got woody flavors. It's got a little bit of a coffee note that plays well with the actual coffee that I'm drinking. And through the sinus, it's got a bit of a peppery aroma, which it's pleasant, but at the same time, it's a minor annoyance. I know they really don't go hand in hand, but the flavor that it brings is pleasant. However, the lingering after effect is not so pleasant. If it didn't linger quite as long, I think I would enjoy it more. I think it would add more to the cigar experience. But so far, it's a middle of the road cigar. Nothing overly memorable. Something that I would definitely smoke again, just not something I would be eager to run out and purchase. So that's where we're at the halfway point. I'll be back one more time. We'll wrap up the cigar, and I'll let you be on your way. Well, we're coming down the home stretch of our Sencillo Black Label. Well, as you can see, we're not really coming down the home stretch. We're around the band. But this is one of the few cigars that I consider dumping right around the time we get to the band. It seems as though all of the samples that I've had so far, they hit their peak right before you get to the band, and then when you pop the band off to start smoking a bit further, they turn harsh. The woody flavor that you get on the palate that's so heavy just begins to turn sour, and the lingering aftertaste is just something that I'm really not into. It's just an overly woody, sort of sour, bitter, just lingering mass that just hangs around on the palate, and it's just not something I'm into. So generally, when I get this far, I really consider dumping them. So I wanted to kind of come back and close out the video now, rather than fight through it if I was going to continue smoking it. And I don't think I'm going to get much further than this. But it's a good middle of the road cigar. It's medium to full bodied. It's got a creamy finish up until about the time where you hit the band, and then it just kind of nosedives and just gets sour on you. The pepper aroma through the sinus is kind of nice. It lingers on the palate a little too long, but the coffee helps balance that out. It's a good cigar that performs well. It's a decent smoke, but this isn't something I'd run out and try to buy, any given day. But it's also one of those cigars where I wouldn't turn them down if someone handed me one and offered up a cigar or something. So all in all, it's a decent cigar. It's just not a very memorable cigar. It doesn't have that wow factor that you're looking for in a lot of cigars. And again, it's just, not to sound like a broken record, but it's a good, solid, medium, middle of the road cigar. So that's going to do it for the Sencillo Black Label.